That is everything that's wrong with our media right now.
When you got
and I think that it's going to be people like you guys who are actually going to help lead the media out of this, because you are actually not beholden by the same partisan orthodoxy.
But when you got a guy
let's talk about the actual substance about what we need to address.
It's hard to when you got a guy who says he wants to be a dictator for a day. It's hard when it's a guy who says it's hard when it's a guy who says you got to terminate the Constitution in order to overturn the results of an election. It's hard when it's a guy who's led an attempted coup in this country.
Get over the derangement syndrome and focus on the actual problems we have to solve as a country.
What is good, YouTube family? It's your boy Rashad, back with the Black Anomaly Raja channel. So Vivek Ramaswamy, he's back again on the Breakfast Club with Charlamagne, the Trump deranged god. And they had it out previously. Last time he was on the show, they pretty much tried to have him like run off with his tail between his legs because they were basically acting like they got him good. At least they thought they did, but pretty much everybody else's opinion of it besides theirs was that Vivek made them look stupid, and I'm in agreement with that. Now, at the time, I don't think I had this channel, so I didn't react to that. At least I don't remember if I did, but Vivek is back, and he essentially is doing the same thing over again, except this time, Charlamagne, like I've watched this whole podcast, and they had some good dialogue, but most of this podcast, Charlamagne the God was basically being completely Trump deranged, and at one point he started going on and on and on about Hitler. It was so ridiculous. This is what peak Trump derangement looks like. This is the guy who you do not want to be. Okay, you do not want to be this guy to where you just start making all of these ridiculous claims and accusations. And it's like, have you even invited the guy on your show? I mean, do I think that Trump would come on this show? Probably not. But, I mean, maybe they have tried to invite him or something. But I think that before people keep making claims and talking about a person, this is one of the things I hate. Like, maybe you should actually speak with that individual, or like, I don't know, play some clips or something, show something proving what you're saying, because a lot of the stuff that Charlamagne is talking about is from a place of complete ignorance. He at one point tried to say that Trump never said to go peacefully to the Capitol, and I'm going to show you that, in fact, he did. Take a look.
The president incited, though. Did Donald Trump incite
I don't think Donald Trump incited a violent coup if you just look at the words of what he said. He specifically said peacefully.
No, he did. He said you got to fight like hell. He said you got to fight like hell, and if you don't fight, they're going to take this country.
Literally, he was using the word peacefully.
Nope, he did not.
But I'm not...
I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
So there you have it. I just want to point that out for anybody who actually believes some of this nonsense that Charlamagne is spouting off. Donald Trump, and a lot of stuff that he says, claiming his innocence, is totally true. There's literal video evidence, Twitter update or tweets that he posted. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff that demonstrate this. But Charlamagne, I think, is so Trump deranged, he just refuses to acknowledge it, refuses to see it, probably doesn't do any research about any of this stuff whatsoever. And it's honestly very frustrating to watch people like him influence others, seeing that how horrible Joe Biden is, but because he's so Trump deranged, it just doesn't matter to him. He keeps talking about democracy and all of this stuff. But without further ado, let's go ahead and react to what this fool is talking about this time.
Are you about to making excuses to why Trump wants to shut the media?
No, I'm gonna tell you something else. Is what I've seen happen is, because I get questions on this regularly.
So what this is about, because they were talking a while before this. Basically, Charlamagne accuses Trump of trying to shut the media down. So Donald Trump did say something about he couldn't stand fake news media. But here's the thing. The actual fake news media work together with the government and, you know, all these social media platforms to shut down regular people and users from spreading news that they deem to be misinformation in the past. And Charlamagne didn't say anything about that. Trump never did any of that. That's one of the biggest things I find so hypocritical, is a lot of the time the left wing and the Democrat politicians and news media have done the very things they accuse Trump of doing. It's freaking astounding that people, like, how can you just not see that? Why I one of the only people that sees this? I don't get it.
Trump will say something. There will be one word they pick out. Vermin was the one. They followed me around about that for a week. What do you think about the Donald Trump called his opponents vermin? And it's a whole game that the media plays where
He
they
was
will
quoting
pick,
Hitler. Vivek.
they will pick one word he says and then actually have you respond to it, as opposed to
He was
taking
actually quoting
the
Hitler.
actual. But the obsession over picking some word that Donald Trump said.
If the news media did not point that out, would anybody have even known that that's a word that Hitler used? Is it even the same word translated from German to English? I mean, how do we even know that? You see what I'm saying? Like, this is like so... I can't understand how disingenuous conversations like this can be sometimes, because I'm like, it's literally one word. So you telling me any words that Hitler has ever used, if you happen to say the same word, then all of a sudden you're guilty as charged? It just doesn't make any sense. This is dumb. I ain't gonna cap. Like, I'm trying to give Charlamagne the guy the benefit of the doubt, but this is really just a stupid conversation.
Plays where
He
they
was
will
quoting
pick,
Hitler. Vivek.
they will pick one word he says and then actually have you respond to it, as opposed to
He was
taking
actually quoting
the
Hitler.
actual. But the obsession over picking some word that Donald Trump
He
said
was quoting
and
Hitler.
making that the news story. Charlamagne, I think I saw some of your own commentary recently where you agree with me on the border being a crisis, and it's ridiculous what's happening on the southern
What that got
border.
to do with anything?
What did he say? What did he say that quoted Hitler? Let's actually just go to the
Hold on, you want me
specifics.
to pull up the whole
Let's
quote?
just go to the specifics and do this, because this is exactly what happened. Oh boy! Pull it up word for word. Read me the whole paragraph. What comes before, during, and after.
And he also said that he didn't know Hitler had used the term.
Okay. How you quoting Hitler if you didn't know Hitler used the term? Like, you see what I'm saying? So he's saying that, well, Trump said he didn't even know Hitler said that. And I'm like, yeah, no ish, because first off, if you actually look at the quotes, they've done some side-by-side comparison, and it's not even direct quotes. And normally if somebody says you're quoting somebody, it's something that you're intentionally doing, not unintentionally doing. So, like, what do you mean he's quoting Hitler if he happens to just say something? Like, this is... Oh, my God, man. This is just... It's just annoying listening to this fool sometimes.
Well,
And that was the poisoning the blood term. That's straight out of the manifesto.
just because somebody says a word that also appears
straight
in
out
some
of Hitler's
English
manifesto.
translation of the manifesto is some sort of weird game of gotcha. Just read to me the full paragraph
If
block
you're saying
quote.
immigrants poison the blood of
No,
America,
give me Donald Trump's quote. We're not going to do the game of the secondhand, NBC News distillation of it. Because I know Donald Trump, and he's not somebody who goes around quoting Adolf Hitler. It's just not a thing that happens. I know half this country is taught to believe by the media that that's what he does, but that's
he
just
said
not
they
Donald Trump.
I think the real number is 15, 16 million people into our country. When they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country, Trump told the crowd at a rally in New Hampshire. That's what they've done. They poison mental institutions and prisons all over the world, not just in South America, not just the 3 or 4 countries that we think about, but all over the world. They're coming into our country from Africa, from Asia, all over the world. And he kept repeating the phrase, poisoning the blood of our country. The term blood poisoning was used by Hitler in his
read what
manifesto,
Donald Trump said, not
in
what
which
somebody
he
wrote about it.
criticized immigration and the mixing of all races. Trump is doing
Because
the exact
what he
same
said,
thing.
they're poisoning the mental health institutions. They're poisoning the
he
prisons.
said poisoning
they're
the blood
poisoning
of our country.
That was one line from a broader litany.
That's Hitler's line.
And so, you know what they're doing in Chicago right now, or at least at the time I went there? They were converting South Shore High School, a poor high school on the south side of Chicago, into an encampment for migrants who are in this country illegally at a cost of $7,000 per migrant per month.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so basically taking a taxpayer resource, because schools aren't free. You have to pay for them. It doesn't matter how run down they are. You still got to put your money into it. And they're just giving it away for free to some people that just showed up, right? So screw you if you came and you took freaking citizenship tests and you just waited months and months and months and they was doing all of these background checks on you. Screw you. Okay, you messed up. You tried to follow the rules, and it shows you where that gets you. You basically just need to be more like a Democrat and just don't follow rules. Be more like the illegal immigrants and just do whatever the heck you want, and then you're gonna be rewarded. That's what the Democrats want. They're basically making it where you break the law, and the party that claims to stand for law and order as it relates to President Trump and trying to get him locked up, they want to thwart the law as it relates to illegal immigration because they feel like these people need it. They're in dire need of assistance. We're the world's saviors, and guess whose money they're going to use to do it? Ours. They're not going to take money out of their own pockets to do it. They're going to take money out of everybody else's pockets, all Americans, to satisfy their ideology. That's sick and twisted, if you ask me. I never want to do anything and use up everybody else's resources to do it. I want to use my own. But no, these people in the government, they want to use everybody else's resources to let people into this country illegally and give them like all of this freaking food and shelter and luxuries and stuff that a lot of citizens of this country can't even get.
That happened in New York a couple years ago.
There were things said in the room that I was in that were far more incendiary than what you just read right there. And I don't hold it against the people who were in that room with me because America First includes all Americans. And I think it is dead wrong that we are rewarding mass numbers of people who have entered this country illegally, breaking the law as they do it, coming in by the millions, and rewarding them more than we are our own fellow citizens right here at home.
You'll get
and
no
so
disagreement.
so that's a major problem affecting people, black and white, Democrat and Republican, poor and middle class.
Yeah, but the stupid thing here is that Charlamagne wants to keep he's quoting Hitler, but it's like, okay, well, if you know that you got issues with illegal immigration, got issues with the economy, like, why would you just ignore that? Like, why? Oh, he was quoting Hitler. I don't know. It's like, what the hell? Like, what they got to do? First off, he wasn't quoting Hitler. Secondly, what's that got to do with the state of the nation? Nothing.
Across this country. And yet we're sitting here obsessing over one word in a long paragraph that said poison the blood when it included a reference to mental health institutions and jails and other public resources in the United States. That is everything that's wrong with our media right now.
When you got
and I think that it's going to be people like you guys who are actually going to help lead the media out of this because you are actually not beholden by the same partisan orthodoxy.
But when you got a guy who
let's talk about the actual substance, about what we need to address.
It's hard to when you got a guy who says he wants to be a dictator for a day. It's hard when it's a guy who says you got to terminate the Constitution in order to overturn the results of an election. It's hard when it's a guy who's led an attempted coup in this country.
Like none of these things. You go one by one out of all of these things. The dictator for the day. Trump was joking. Constitution. Trump never said he wanted to overturn the Constitution. That's literally fabricated based off of a tweet that's being misinterpreted. And the third thing, in terms of a coup, there's no freaking coup that happens. This have to be like the dumbest, most stupidest coup that ever existed in the history of coups. Okay, there's no coup, no insurrection. It's a bunch of BS. Is really what that is. And it's like flabbergasting that this fool is actually buying into this. And at this point, I don't believe that he's making it up. I think that he actually believes this because he keeps parroting the same thing over and over again.
Get over the derangement syndrome and focus on the actual problems we have to solve as a country. And you look at actually the border, the economy. You want to look at staying out of foreign wars? Yeah, I will take a president who has sharp elbows, who is actually able to accomplish those things.
So words don't matter?
Over somebody. I'm not saying words don't matter.
Yes,
words do matter, but words taken out of context in a way. Am I going to say everything the same way that Donald Trump did? I don't know why I'm sitting here being questioned, again, what the entire media loves to do, on picking some word Trump said. And
you should ask him, hey, are you saying that the only thing that matters is words, Charlamagne? Because you seem to realize that there's an issue with the border, there's an issue with the housing market, an issue with the economy on the whole, and yet the only thing you seem to care about is words. That's all he's talking about. Oh, he said he was going to terminate the Constitution, and he's been quoting Hitler. Like, that's all this fool is talking about. And then he starts talking about something about a coup, which is like, that's like one of the biggest gaslights in the history of politics. It's saying that there was a coup or insurrection. It's like, I can't believe how far the Trump derangement is, how far it's gone. It's insane.
Sitting here talking about that rather than a vision for the country.
Okay,
let's talk about the actual country.
Let's ask about this
Let's
for the
talk
vision
about
of the
the
country.
actual issues we're addressing as a country.
Let's ask about this for the vision of the country.
Yes, exactly. Let's talk about the actual country.
What's the point of the GOP attaching themselves to Trump the way they have when he hasn't won anything since 2016?
The GOP attaching themselves to Trump is, I think, a bizarre framing where the GOP is electing a leader to lead our America First movement to the next level, and they're saying in droves that Donald Trump should be that leader. Now, how do we actually use that to accomplish something for our country? Our country, I think, made a poor decision in putting Joe Biden in office. I think the results speak for themselves. I think a lot of the economic numbers are a fallacy. Prices are higher. Wages haven't gone up to the same degree.
Facts.
Mortgage rates are higher. People live in tougher circumstances. We've got millions more who have entered this country illegally, taken up public resources that should be used on other purposes. And yet, somehow, we are still focusing on some word that Donald Trump said as opposed to asking ourselves, how are we going to address that underlying reality?
He hasn't won anything since 2016. So what's the
He
point?
won in 2016, and
And
I
he
think that
hasn't
they
won
robbed
anything
him.
since.
What? He ran one
2018,
election.
you lost the House.
He ran one election.
2018, you lost the House. 2020, you lost the White House.
I think he's going to win in a landslide this year.
But what about? Sure.
Charlamagne is such. He's being such a dumb. This dude's whole conversation today is disingenuous as heck. Because look, he literally was on another video, like with Piers Morgan not long ago. He said, "Who do you think is going to win?" And Charlamagne said, "I think Trump's going to win." So what the heck is this fool talking about?
If it's Biden-Trump in November,
Who am I voting for?
who wins?
I do believe Biden wins.
Trump.
Charlamagne, the casting vote.
And that's what I'm saying. So if Biden has done all of these great things and he's up against that and we're still not sure
I need
he's
a
gonna
name,
win,
Charlamagne.
is he winnable?
Give me a name.
Who's going to win?
Biden v. Trump.
It's
The
not
rematch.
Dean Phillips.
It's not going to be Dean Phillips. I really, truly don't know. If I had to say right now, I would say Donald Trump.
Wow. There we go, the casting vote. Charlamagne the God, the man with his finger on the pulse of America. Trump.
You see how these people operate? There's like no integrity here. I'm so freaking sick. I'm sick of this dude. I don't like, yo, this dude needs. I'm not about to make. I don't know if I'm gonna make no more videos about him because he get on my nerves. It's freaking killing me to make videos about Charlamagne because just watching this dude is just frustrating. I'm watching another black male. Basically, it's like he's walking off a cliff, and it's like I'm trying to stop him. Like, no, brother, no, don't go off this cliff. And he's like, nah, it's like the Trump derangement. It's like in his head, and he's just like sleepwalking himself off of the cliff, like that's basically what's happening with this dude. He's being completely foolish, and I'm just so sick of it. We had Trump in office for 4 years already. Everything was fine. People talking about it's not going to be any more elections. He's going to put people in camps. This is the same stuff they said, if you guys recall, before Trump was elected the first time. And everything was fine. It literally was in their head the first time, and it was in their head the second time. And then this time in 2024, it's in their head again, worse than ever. It is so insane. I don't know what these people are smoking, man. Because when I started doing real research about Trump, I realized how much BS it was. But I don't think these people are doing it. How do you have so many conversations and you still don't know what the heck's going on in the country? How? These people are talking about this maybe more than I am, or maybe not, because I do videos every day. But I don't know. They talk about this a lot with high-profile people. Vivek is a high-profile person. How you still can't get the facts straight when you're talking to somebody like Vivek Ramaswamy, for real? This dude is embarrassing. It's embarrassing to even watch this. Because I feel like people are going to see this and they're going to think, oh, well, this is a representation of the average black man. It's Charlamagne. But the sad thing is they might be right. Because a lot of black folks do realize how bad Joe Biden is. And the Joe Biden, Kamala Harris ticket and how bad the Democrats are. Democrats trying to thwart democracy, remove Trump from the ballot, all of that. But they still don't care. They're still letting the Trump derangement win. The fact that this dude right here sounds like he's still going to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, even though he knows how terrible they are, it is a scary as hell thought. It's scary as hell. And a lot of people are probably just like Charlamagne. But look, we fighting back with this channel. Okay, look, share this with everybody. Don't let these clowns win, okay? We cannot let these clowns win because there's way too much at stake this time around. Like, the country is on decline. When Donald Trump says stuff like, hey, we have a country that's on decline, is he lying? Yes or no? He's telling the truth. And you got people like Charlamagne that's sleepwalking their way into further decline of the country. You look back through history, every great nation ever has fallen eventually. I don't know when America's gonna fall. I know one day it will, but I don't want it to be in my lifetime. You don't want it to be in yours. Y'all know who to vote for this coming November. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.